Right, we're into it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's information session in the newly completed Camellia Chambers. Before we start, a reminder the workshop is being live streamed. However, while this workshop is open to the public, it is for staff to provide guidance to elected members, not a forum for debate or decisions. It is also not a forum for the public to provide input into decisions or bring other matters to the attention of council. If a member of the public does want to provide input, please talk to staff and they will help you have your say. So this morning I have an apology from Councillor Goff, and that's all at this stage, unless anyone else. Okay. Melanie as well. Sorry, thank God there, Sam. Thank you. So first we have John Bissell. Community Sports and Partnership Unit Activity Report from February to July. Good morning. Don't forget to press your, if it's green, you go. Yep.
Ngā mihi nui, kia koutou katoa, and thank you for the opportunity to talk with you today. Rather than walk through the report line by line, I'll take it as read, and a few of our colleagues will share shortly highlights from our work over quarters 3 and 4. But first, I'd like to acknowledge Sarah Maruzzi and Ange Smith for their really amazing work in pulling together our report. Community development doesn't fit neatly into boxes. It's dynamic, relational, and often hard to quantify. So that's why we've been working to better capture the impact of what we do. So Sarah's been leading this mahi, strengthening how we report on the unit's impact and helping us to tell a clearer story about the value of our work and that of the community. Her contribution has been instrumental, and I just wanted to thank you for it, so thanks Sarah and Ange. The Community Support and Partnerships Unit exists to strengthen the fabric of our communities by enabling local leadership, supporting resilience, and ensuring council decisions are grounded in lived experience. We do this by supporting elected members, fostering belonging and placemaking, leading resilience planning, funding community-led initiatives and building strategic partnerships. The context we're working in is complex, as you'll all be aware. Communities are navigating economic uncertainty, climate risk, social fragmentation and global instability. These pressures are felt locally through food insecurity, housing stress and the rising demand for connection and support. Our role is to back communities to lead, mobilising volunteers, responding to local needs and building long-term resilience. This work is not only socially vital, it's a smart investment in the city's wellbeing and future. So I'd like to hand over now to Josh Wharton, and he's going to update you on community grant funding. And I'm just wondering, would we take questions at the end of our presentation, so it'd be great so we can get through it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
move.
Over to you, Josh.
Thanks. Tēnā koe te matakahi, ko Joshua Wharton, tōku ingoa. Look, I think I have the first slide, if we can, oh, we've got a clicker, we do too. So this is just a brief summary of Council's contestable funding schemes. And in terms of my highlight for community funding, one part that I wanted to touch on is we've just recently completed our Strengthening Communities Fund, both at the council level and the local community boards. The update from which is that we're expecting around 3.178 million volunteer hours to be supported through that funding administered, the value of which can be a little difficult to calculate in terms of a dollar figure, but if we said it was roughly at minimum wage, that'd be about 74 million invested into the city, or if we took living wage, that's about 92 million. And that's not speaking to all of the non-economic benefits that comes from the likes of Youth Line, the City Mission, Youth Business Support, Dress for Success, and more, as you can imagine. Then, over the last year, one of the major priorities has actually been taking all of these diverse funds that you can look through and essentially capturing them in a consistent manner so that applicants have a similar experience with council, whether they're coming to an environmental fund, whether they're coming to a community fund, a place-based fund, an events fund, etc. Now each of these funds has their own guiding strategy, works with a unique team within council. So for example, sustainability will be working to hit climate change objectives, or Place Partnership Fund will be looking to improve vibrancy in the city. And each of these will sit as its own line in the long-term plan. But I guess what was been really key, and what I hope you've seen over the last year, is that when we bring reports, there's a consistent look and feel to funding decisions, both at the boards and at the council level. The other priority that I wanted to briefly touch on was our community and special loans. So this is something that we provide to community groups in order to enable certain outcomes to take place. And we've been following up with all the groups that have existing community and special loans, just to make sure that they're, one, meeting their repayment obligations, but also structuring those repayments in a way that is reasonable but allows them to continue their work. So as of this week, all of our current loans are being repaid, and what that means is we have a pot of money that's set aside, and as the repayments come in from the groups, that pot fills back up and allows us to make new loans. The loan scheme is run at 20 basis points above council's cost of borrowing, so is effectively rates neutral, and that's our cost of borrowing estimated over a 5-year period, which, just for your information, for financial year 26 is 4.7%. So compared to other commercial loans you might get from banks, one, we're a little more flexible because we're seeking to invest in community benefit, but also gives a better rate to support what we're trying to achieve here. So that's more or less my community funding, but I'm happy to speak to any questions on any of the funds listed or elsewhere at the end. But I'll pass on to, I believe, Sina, our Pacifica Liaison Advisor. Sina.
Talofa lava and warm Pacific greetings. Today I'll provide an update on the Pacific community's long-standing request for a dedicated Pacific Community Hub, Council's response to this request, and the current progression of interest in Westminster Depot as a potential site. Just to give you a little bit of background, last year on 13th of May 2024, Nina Oberg-Humphreys with over 50 Pacific community members presented at the long-term plan hearings. They reiterated a request spanning more than 40 years for a Pacific village or hub that supports Christchurch's Pacific peoples by celebrating cultural heritage, nurturing cultural pride, and contributing to the social and economic vitality of Aotearoa. They have formed a project steering group to progress this idea on behalf of the wider community. Council resolved that staff explore options for a Pacific hub, including Woolston Working Men's Club, and report back. Staff have started discussion on behalf of the Pacific Community Steering Group with key funders who have indicated support for such a facility, whether a new build or a refurbishment. Progress to date: several site options have been scoped and will be formally reported back to Council after the local elections. In the meantime, staff have been supporting Pacific community leaders to engage widely across Pan-Pacific communities. An engagement report will be completed by the 20th of September 2025. Through this process, the Pacific Community Steering Group have identified Westminster Depot in Marihau as their preferred site and have made contact with the Parks team. A briefing has been scheduled to the Waipapa Community Board on the 11th of September 2025, indicating the community's interest in the Westminster Depot site and building. Why the Westminster Depot? Located on the east side of Christchurch, where the majority of Pacific peoples live, ensuring accessibility and strong usage, preliminary feedback from the community is consistent with this. The site is currently underutilised and has been associated with antisocial activity. Establishing a hub here could transform it into a positive, vibrant community space. Using a phased approach, opportunities identified by the Pacific Community Steering Group include a large communal facility for cultural festivals, functions and events, community gardens and shared outdoor spaces, office spaces for Pacific organisations, indoor and outdoor areas for physical activity and wellbeing programs, a facility that can serve as an emergency response hub in times of need. Next steps, we are working closely with the parks asset planners to navigate the processes required to potentially secure Westminster Depot. On the 11th of September 2025, we will brief the Waipapa Community Board on the community's preference. Following the local elections, we will bring a further update to Council as part of the report back on the Pacific Community's LTP submission. The project will proceed in phases, ensuring alignment with Council's community strategies, consideration of wider community impacts, robust consultation and engagement, sustainable funding and support. Thank you.
Thank you, Sina. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, John.
Good morning, everyone. I'm actually Rachel Hunt and Emily Toes from our community team who are unable to be here today. So over the past year, the community support with our civil defence and emergency management colleagues have been working on and delivering a reasonably extensive tsunami project. The final scope of the tsunami project was locked down by the council on the 18th of June with council's decision on tsunami alerting systems. The tsunami project has 6 active concurrent work streams, including community resilience, public information, sirens and alerting systems, signage, tsunami planning, and what's called a messaging framework, where the relevant information on tsunami risk and actions is wrapped up with other council activities of a similar ilk in similar communities, such as PC12 district plan changes, climate change adaptation. So we work across the council to ensure that there's a coherent package of messages going out in a coordinated manner. We're joined up. The next initiative on the tsunami programme is planned to leverage off National Shakeout campaign, which occurs annually in the spring, and this is on the 16th of October. We are collaborating across the council and community, coastal communities, especially from Spencer Park to South Shore, as I said, to leverage off the messages that are broadcast nationally. So more specifically, we will explain and promote what long or strong get gone means. Look, if an earthquake's around for more than a minute or you can't stand up, get gone. What does get gone mean? It means evacuate now to a safe zone, inland or high ground. Don't wait for a warning. We're supporting households to plan evacuations and to be prepared. We're encouraging households to be prepared. They have an evacuation grab bag, and mostly importantly, we're providing a bit of information to households on where they can get more information and help. I said this is absolutely leveraging off a national campaign that happens anyway. We are just making it particularly relevant to the Christchurch at this time. It'll be supported by a extensive multimedia campaign leading up to October the 16th. There'll be a memo to elected members. They will have information to call centre, newsline, staff emails. Just playing to our strengths on what we've got. Also, we will be mobilising our communities. Our community development advisors will be working with partner local organisations to get the info out. And we'll be disseminating this information through community networks. I said, this is part of our wider Tsunami programme, but we just thought we'd take the opportunity to leverage off the annual national campaign. So communities are going to know about this. The messaging is simple and effective. We are aiming to reach people in multiple ways. No new messaging, but just really supporting what's out there. This is a very small heads up, and look, we'll keep you posted along the journey.
Okay, so you're good? Thank you. We have run out of time, but we had one, I've got time, we had 3 questions, but Tyler, you had your hand up way first before anyone else, so.
There's a really quick one, and then there's one about the procurement models we might have. The first one is if you can send us the economic impact from those community funding pots, that's awesome, we can share that. But the big one I'm asking is about what's currently being done in terms of working across units. Like, could we upscale more in terms of procurement for capital projects? And I'm wondering if there's work currently being done or if it's already in the procurement policy that we've got. I'm thinking about things like watch this space, people like that could actually be a part of the capital that we actually put into the area instead of paying a contractor to do it.
Sorry, Tyler, what was your question?
So I'm wondering what's currently being done in terms of social procurement. So, for example, we're using a lot of organisations who do work on capital projects.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they could actually be modelled in to a lot of the things that we do already.
Yeah.
Instead of paying a contractor,
Yeah.
we look at these guys.
We can take note of that, and we will discuss that with our project teams and procurement teams.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, team, for coming in and keeping us up to date. Thank you. Okay, so now we've got to the update on the wastewater treatment plant activated sludge plant project. We've got Thomas and Gavin, I believe.
In the meantime, can we just get a, not verbal feedback from the community governance team, John, but like just a written one maybe on the preparedness for the fire season? Like we're doing lots of tsunami stuff, but what work are we doing with FENS and preparing community for a dry summer and stuff?
And then the flooding as well, like it's been raised. Flooding preparedness.
Okay, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you firstly for inviting me to present today about the activated sludge plant. My name is Thomas Fitzko. I'm the project manager for that project.
Could you just have a break for a minute? We just we can't get the PowerPoint up, but can people? Is it on the big tin can? Okay, so people have to. Councillors, can you look at the slides on the big tin can, because it's just with the internet being down, we can't get it up.
Okay.
So just give 1 minute to people get it up.
Now, if we're going to the first slide, what we have been up to is really from last year when the project was approved by you guys to proceed with the activated sludge plant. We made progress of demolishing the old trickling filters and cleared the site for construction. That means we removed the 11 kV cables that was running alongside there. That was achieved by end of March and completed. Also at the same time, we engaged ACOM, the consultant, to do the design for the new activated sludge plant and progressed it to a point where we have been able to go out to tender to our 3 shortlisted contractors that we gone through that expression of interest last year to get them narrowed down to 3 contractors. The tender went out in 1st of August and is currently out of tender. And also we awarded the contract for the CMCA, that is for construction monitoring and for construction administration, and that has been awarded to Becker. To the next slide, what is coming up? From there on, as I mentioned before, we are going out to tender for the main contract. That will be closing by end of September, and we're aiming to have that awarded around October, to be able, if everything goes to plan, to get the site established around November. And that, let's hope, if everything goes to plan, we're starting with the ground improvement might before Christmas, maybe in the new year. The picture, what you can see, is a typical construction of an activist sludge plant that has been, which slide is that? That has been around. Just can we move to, yes, this one. To the next slide, as we see our new plant, that is a 3-BIM model that actually shows the new plant placed where the old trickling filter used to be. So that you can see the building on the left-hand side is the blower hole building that is required to supply the air to the new plant. In the front, we have big pipes that's supplying the wastewater to the mixing chamber, from there to the activated sludge plant. If you're going to the next slide, so we can see that from the west to the east, and that is another illustration. It's quite a large structure. As you can see, it is 67 by 67 meters, 7 meters high. Now, what we have done to really have a speedy process of designing the new plant, we use a collaborative approach with all parties, with ACOM, Becker, the council, and ensure that we are progressing as fast as possible with the design to going out to tender. We use technology like BIM to establishing 3D modeling and have a collaborative approach with designing the new plant. Now, what are the next steps? As I mentioned before, once the contract has been awarded, we will aiming to get the work underway as soon as possible. The pictures, what you can see is there, you can see the ground improvement works will be with installing the piles that are required for mitigating the liquefaction around that area. That next picture, what we can see is that is a typical in situ concrete pour for the structure itself. And we're aiming, again, our timeline currently shows that constructed, commissioned around 2028, mid-28, end of 28. But as I said, unless we got the contractor schedule, we can't really confirm until we got that confirmed. As we know that it will have an impact to the community, and we will put all effort in to keep them informed and up to date with our progress. No, thank you very much for your time, and time now for any questions.
Yeah, very good. It's good to know that it's well progressing and giving us a timeline of when we can see some more progress down there, so it's good. Yanni, please.
So just to clarify, you're going to have a community meeting when you've awarded the contract. I'm just concerned that local residents find out about this, you know, like when that there's a community meeting to basically explain what we're doing. And yeah, I was hoping we would do that when the design was finished, but you're saying it's better to do it when the contract's awarded. Yes. Because you'll have a clearer time frame about what will be done.
Yes. Yeah. Once we got a contract on board, and also with Becker and our team established, with the community meeting, we aim to have them all be part of that one. Then we can clear answer the questions that the community has, like what the impact is, like vibration, noise, and smell, that we can say. The contractor who is the expert in that, they can actually say, hey, that is what we're doing, that is how we mitigate, how we try to minimize the impact to you guys.
Right. Realistically, is there any chance that that'll happen before Christmas or the end of the year?
Yes, that we definitely planning to do that. If everything goes to plan, by October we will award the contract.
Okay. Great. Thank you for the work that you're doing on that. And obviously today's not about the current situation, it's just on the future, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Very good. Thank you. Good progress. Thanks very much for coming in and keeping us up to speed. Good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So that brings us to the end of today's public workshops. Now move into public excluded session of the workshop. Lee.